Ladies and gentlemen, dear media guests, a very warm welcome to the Next Level ŠKODA Strategy 2030 press conference. I'd like to welcome all the guests joining us live, either here at the event in the Docks, Museum of Contemporary Art in Prague, or via online stream. In a few minutes, our CEO Thomas Schäfer will present the new strategy to you. Right afterwards, you will have the opportunity to ask any questions you may have. And it's easy to do so via the Slido application. You'll find the Slido window on the right side of the live stream site. Please ask questions in Czech, English or German, or send them directly to media@skoda-auto.cz. All our guests here in the Docks can simply raise their hand for the questions. And now, let's officially start with the Next Level ŠKODA Strategy 2030 press conference. Roll the film.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow, over 125 years of ŠKODA Auto in 1 minute and 16 seconds. I don't know about you, I could look at pictures like this for hours. Today, though, we are not looking back over our company's eventful history, but to the future. And with that, welcome to ŠKODA's Strategy Press Conference. Today, ŠKODA is one of the 5 oldest car manufacturers in the world still in business. In the Czech Republic alone, we employ 35,000 people. Worldwide, more than 43,000 people now belong to the ŠKODA family. We contribute 5% to Czech gross domestic product and account for about 9% of exports. ŠKODA is the largest private sector company in the Czech Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, this means that we have a tremendous responsibility for our employees, their families, and for the Czech nation. And as good corporate citizens, we strive to fulfill this responsibility every day by ensuring the safety and sustainability of workplaces, by investing in education, infrastructure, leisure activities, and urban development in the regions surrounding our production sites, and by working closely and in a spirit of trust with our social partner Kovo and its chairman Jaroslav Povšik, who I would like to welcome at this point. He has followed the company's breathtaking development closely, especially since ŠKODA's integration into the Volkswagen Group. The contract was signed exactly 30 years ago by the Czech Minister of Industry at the time, the late Jan Vrba, and the former VW chairman of the board, Karl Hahn. This was the starting signal for a unique European success story. ŠKODA has developed from a regional market leader into a global player. We are now represented in over 100 countries. ŠKODA produces globally. Besides our 3 Czech sites, we manufacture in Slovakia, in India, as well as in Russia, China, and the Ukraine with local partners. ŠKODA has consistently delivered over 1 million cars to customers for 7 years in a row. And we are highly profitable. Our return on sales in the first quarter of 2021 was 8.9%. But, ladies and gentlemen, all this is only a snapshot. Today's success is no guarantee of success tomorrow. In the now rapidly changing automotive industry, this is more true than ever. That is why, in the leadership team, we asked ourselves the question, how can we successfully steer ŠKODA through the transformation process and ensure that our company is even stronger in 2030 than it is today? To answer this, we carefully analyzed our environment. It provides clear answers as to why we are changing now to make ŠKODA fit for the future. Take the issue of sustainability. For the first time in history, all three major world powers, the US, China, and Europe, have a serious green agenda. The goals are ambitious. The European Union's Green Deal, for example, aims to reduce CO2 emissions by 55% between 1990 and 2030. For car manufacturers, this means stricter limits. A real challenge, no question, but it's also a real opportunity to turn the tide towards a green society during this decade. However, while global awareness of sustainability is rising, we find that the sales curve in the global automotive markets is flattening. From 2009 to 2019, average annual growth was 3.4%. According to forecasts, the market will only grow by 1.2% per year from 19 to 28. In other words, the cake we all want a piece of is no longer necessarily getting bigger. Added to this is the fact that many competitors are becoming faster and stronger. They are developing new sub-brands that focus entirely on electric mobility or are fundamentally realigning their brand identities. And completely new competitors in the e-car arena are also taking a slice of the cake. Their advantage is that they can start from a blank sheet of paper. They do not have to make the billion-dollar transformation from ICE to EV. Ladies and gentlemen, our competitive environment is changing as rapidly as our customers' requirements. Most people expect their cars to be easy and intuitive to use. Distribution and sales are also transforming at a rapid pace. Many customers want to take a look at new models in a pop-up store while shopping in the city center, or on the couch in the evening in a virtual showroom that is open 24/7. And once the car has been configured online, it can ideally be bought online straight away. Also, our customers expect flexible rental models with flat rates and short holding periods. In addition, other alternatives have emerged in recent years in the form of car sharing, carpooling, and ride-hailing. But they have one thing in common. They'll most likely not be profitable in the foreseeable future. Ladies and gentlemen, this sweeping transformation is costing the industry billions, while the price pressure continues to rise. On the agenda are comprehensive efficiency programs and the consolidation of model portfolios as a way to become leaner and more agile. The coronavirus pandemic has certainly been a catalyst, accelerating decisions at many OEMs, including ours. Now is the right time to break away from outdated practices. At the same time, we've come to realize how fragile our global world sometimes is. According to Allianz Insurance, the tanker stuck in the Suez Canal caused a global loss of around 10 billion euros. Our supply chains were also affected by this, on top of Corona. Ladies and gentlemen, at ŠKODA, we are aware of the volatile environment, but we are not intimidated by it. We know where we've come from and what we are capable of. We are building from a position of strength, and we are highly motivated excuse me, to take ŠKODA to the next level during this decade. I already outlined how we are changing after my first 100 days at the company with the Next Level ŠKODA program for the future. In recent weeks, more details have been added to the program, and now we are incorporating it into our corporate strategy, Next Level ŠKODA Strategy 2030. The vision that guides us is we will help the world live smarter. By smart, we mean giving value for the money spent and more, getting peace of mind when buying a Škoda, and not having the need to show off. This is our rationale, our answer to the question, why? Alongside this is our mission: modern, accessible mobility with everything you need and surprises you love. We will remain true to our brand values of simplifying, human, and surprising. They have always set us apart. They are strong and they remain relevant. Ladies and gentlemen, what will our company look like in 2030? In one sentence, we are making Škoda even more international, electrified, and digital. To achieve this, we'll be focusing on 3 top priorities: expand, explore, and engage. These are the strong pillars supporting our actions. The foundation on which the pillars stand are our guiding principles of efficiency and simplicity. We not only ask ourselves, how do we achieve something, but also, how do we achieve something in the best, cleverest, and simplest way, the Škoda way. Let me explain exactly what our top 3 priorities involve, starting with expand. Our ambition is to be one of the 5 best-selling brands in Europe by 2030. How do we want to achieve this? On the one hand, we are strengthening our position in the entry-level segments by offering particularly affordable models. Take our new Fabia. The entry-level price will be below the magic mark of 14,000 euros in many countries. I'm convinced that this will enable us to win over many new customers to the brand and the Volkswagen Group. On the other hand, we'll be adding at least 3 more all-electric vehicles to our model portfolio by 2030. All of them will be priced and sized below the Enyaq iV product family. This is one of the keys for us to get into the top 5, in Europe especially, where the future is electric. In other words, we are aiming at a share of fully electric Škoda models of 50 to 70% in Europe by 2030, of course, depending on market developments. Ladies and gentlemen, I've already mentioned Škoda's responsibility in the Czech Republic. To ensure that both Škoda and the country emerge stronger from the radical transformation process, we are convinced that the Czech Republic must evolve into an electromobility hub. As a result, in 2030, e-components or e-vehicles will be built at all 3 Czech sites, Mladá Boleslav, Kvasiny, and Wroclaw. Among other things, we already manufacture high-voltage traction batteries for our Superb iV and Octavia iV models, and for models of other group brands. Production of MEB battery systems for the Enyaq iV will also be launched in Mladá Boleslav early next year. But that alone is not enough to make the electromobility hub a reality. In collaboration with our partners, we are also working on a stable supplier structure for the e-mobility in the country. Czech electrified, so to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, Škoda's direction in Europe up to 2030 is therefore clear. Top 5 by sales volume, focusing on attractive entry-level variants and a strong electrified model portfolio. Now let's turn to the second top priority, explore. We have defined a clear ambition for 2030 for this. We are developing Škoda into a leading European brand, the leading European brand in India, Russia, and North Africa, and thereby expanding our overall global sales potential to up to 1.5 million vehicles per year. The Volkswagen Group has given us responsibility for these regions because it trusts us to realize their full potential. This trust is greatly appreciated, and the team is highly motivated to deliver results. Models like the Rapid in Russia and our model campaign for India, led by the new Škoda Kushaq, are helping us to achieve this. It's tailored to the needs of customers in the region and will also become a bestseller in many other emerging markets. And rest assured, we have many more ideas for these ones. And also for other important markets like China, we are on track. Our brand new Octavia Pro has the best essentials to become a great success there again. Ladies and gentlemen, our openness to additional responsibility at the group level also comes under the Explore priority. You're already familiar with one of the projects. We are taking on the joint development of the next Superb and VW Passat generations. It's a great honor for our engineers. Tasks like these give Škoda a broader and more international profile and make a decisive contribution to the group's success. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the third top priority, engage. For us, this priority has several facets. On the one hand, we are looking at the digital customer experience, and on the other, it's about making tangible progress in sustainability and diversity. And of course, we will also continue our efforts in education and training. For me, this also comes under engage. Let's start with the first point. Our 2030 goal is to be the benchmark for a simply clever user experience or user interface. In other words, everyone can instantly understand how to operate a Škoda or how a Škoda service works. We are listening carefully to our customers and designing our products to be as intuitive as possible. We are transferring our Škoda approach to the digital world and becoming Simply Clever 2.0. A lighthouse project is the Power Pass. This makes charging electric cars simple and stress-free. The Power Pass will be available in over 30 markets and can be used at more than 210,000 charging points across Europe. Not only will charging become even more convenient in the future, but also purchasing our vehicles. In our virtual showrooms, our customers can already take a look around 24/7 from the comfort of their sofa at home. As early as 2025, 1 in 5 Škodas will be sold online. In the Czech Republic, Poland, Belgium, and the Netherlands, this is already possible today, and the customer feedback has been extremely positive. Now to the other 2 points, which we also include under the term engage. We are significantly strengthening our sustainability goals in our strategy. By 2030, we want to reduce our fleet emissions by more than 50% compared to 2020. Moreover, we'll produce our vehicles at our plants in the Czech Republic and India with net zero CO2 from 2030 onwards. Our Wroclaw plant, we have achieved this goal already. Just as important as sustainability for us are the issues of diversity, inclusion, and equality. One of our goals is that by 2030, at least 1 in 4 managerial positions will be held by a woman. We do this in the knowledge that diverse teams achieve demonstrably better results. Moreover, our customers are diverse, and to address them in the best way possible, Škoda will be too. An equally important building block for sustainable success is the further training of our employees. To this end, we'll be investing 500 million euros in professional equipment and development in education between 2022 and 2030, so that the team is fully prepared to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, with our top 3 priorities, expand, explore, and engage, we will successfully lead Škoda into the future. They are the 3 strong pillars of the Next Level ŠKODA Strategy 2030. I explained at the beginning that these pillars are built on a solid foundation. Efficiency and simplicity, 2 of Škoda's core disciplines. We continue to consolidate this foundation. We have set ourselves the goal of becoming the best cost champion among the European core competitors. Our goal is a sustainable return on sales of at least 8%. How will we achieve this? By consistently pursuing our efficiency program. We are simplifying our processes, cutting bureaucracy, and radically reducing complexity. For example, we'll reduce our overall complexity of our products by 40%. Ladies and gentlemen, to summarize our Next Level ŠKODA Strategy 2030, the company will be different in the future. We are making ŠKODA even more international, electrified and digital. And yet, ŠKODA will remain ŠKODA, the strong, proud Czech brand that is shaped by the people who work for it. Their strong identification with the brand, their innovative spirit and wealth of ideas, and their courage to explore new horizons will continue to distinguish us in 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, with this mindset, we will successfully lead ŠKODA through this decade. Děkuji vám. Thank you.
Thomas, thanks.
Masks
So,
on.
dear guests, now you have the chance to ask your questions. You can do either via the Slido application as described. The Slido window is on the right side of the live stream. Please ask questions in Czech, English or German or send them directly to media@škoda-auto.cz. All our guests here in the docks can simply raise their hand for the questions. So, let's start. Do we have a question here in the room already? And then we start in the room. We have two hostesses on the left, on the right side. This is currently not the case, so then let's start.
Let's warm up.
Yeah, let's warm up with the Slido application. First question, do you plan to release the Octavia as a BEV in the near future?
Well, the Octavia, specifically the Octavia Combi, is the core of our brand. No? I mean, this is there's no secret. We believe that this segment is by far not dead, no matter what the propulsion is going to be in the future. So, yes, I think we need an electric Octavia. Will it be exactly the same? Whatever, we'll see. But yeah, it belongs to us.
Thanks. What is the future of CNG technology at ŠKODA?
CNG, unfortunately, as a technology, has almost like a bad name in Europe because many of the countries have not followed the policy that supports that kind of technology. We have some sort of pockets of markets in Italy and in France, but the rest is not really relevant. I believe CNG plays a significant role for emerging markets. Many markets around the world have CNG, they have gas, they have natural gas. CNG is 30% better in emissions compared to EU6. Customer drives for half the cost per kilometer, and it saves the pocket of the countries to provide that versus buying fuel from Middle East. So it will play a role in our lineup, specifically in our emerging markets that we're looking at the moment. This is a technology that will at least bridge into the next 10 years plus for these markets before they might go electric. But large commercial vehicles will still play a role with CNG, so for big distances.
Thanks. Will you come with the small electric car like Citigo in the past?
Well, as I said, we will offer at least 3 new battery electric vehicles below the in size and cost below the Enyaq. Will it go as small as the Citigo IV? Not so sure, but it will go smaller than the Enyaq.
Next one, can the MQB A0 architecture and its derivatives support BEV powertrains in the future?
No, I would say this is not economically feasible to do that. No, the MQB A0, MQB technology was designed for ICE and specifically powerful in this space. We see that with the MEB platform that we have a strong platform that is now scalable. We don't need to electrify an old ICE platform. It's never ideal.
Mm-hmm. What changes does the new strategy imply for new mobility, renting, ride sharing? You mentioned it in the speech already, that it's a difficult sector.
As you know, we have made experience in this field, Czech Republic, with Hobby Go, B-Rider, and sharing platforms. In Europe, it's a bit of a tough game because the cost of the driver and so on is for the ride-hailing is difficult to make it feasible. It's still a technology that will be very relevant for other markets where you don't have an offer. No? So we decided we want to get this experience and see where to use it, but this is now not our #1 priority for now. No? For now, it's electrification and moving into the new world.
Will be a plant like Mlona Boleslav dedicated to only e-vehicles in the future?
Yeah, it depends on the point in time. No? So eventually, yes, whatever that timing might be. No? So reality, when you look at Europe as a market, we see volumes rising tremendously towards the end of this decade. So our factories will have to electrify eventually. And the question is when? Is it already going to be 25, 26? We are now prepared for this. We've got a fantastic setup in Mlona Boleslav where we do the ENIAC at the moment. We do it in a flexible way together with the Octavia, which is fantastic for us because we can balance demand and still produce very efficiently. We'll probably have for the next couple of years this transitional phase where you have both ICE and electric vehicles in factories, and eventually it will phase out. But it's a tremendous amount of money needed to change factories from ICE production to BEV production because of the weight of the vehicles and so on. So I believe for the next, whatever, say 7-8 years, we'll have an interesting phase to do the one and the new, the old and the new together and balance it and see. Yeah.
As I see no raising hands here in the plenum currently, I continue with the Slido. The Volkswagen Group is introducing the agency sales model in many brands. Does it also belong to the next level strategy? If so, from when and for which models and markets?
Yeah, the agency model is not new in the industry. Other manufacturers have introduced it. It makes a lot of sense in many ways. We will also start in certain markets with this now. It's across the board. We're not doing it in one go. It's going to be step by step. But the agency model makes sense. The group has decided to go that way, and we will also follow.
Next question. I guess it's motorsport. ŠKODA AUTO and, for example, Mercedes are dedicated to motorsports from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Now ŠKODA AUTO withdraw factory crew from World Championship and others. Has this tradition come to an end on the 120th anniversary of motorsports of ŠKODA AUTO?
No, it hasn't come to an end. We haven't got a factory team at the moment. It's incredibly expensive. We're still supporting motorsport. We are the biggest manufacturer of rally cars that are privateers that are racing them, very successful in this field. Motorsport's part of our DNA. We've got a very proud team that is doing very well and all that. We've got no ambitions to cut that away. It's just that to support a factory team and to focus on this is at the moment in this extremely challenging financial situation, not only because of COVID, but also because of this transformation that we're going through, not an option.
How are the negotiations with the Czech government going on the possibility of building a factory creating battery units?
Well, I'm very happy that the Czech government is also convinced that Czech Republic needs to become an electromobility hub. As I say, we've got 5% of the GDP of the country, and if Europe electrifies, our customers want those cars, so you need to get the infrastructure for this. You need to be able to have battery cells in the Czech Republic, and when things go from engine to battery cells, it needs to happen. So I'm happy to say that the government is focusing on it now. They understood that this is necessary, and we explore all options at the moment. What makes sense, to get there. No? It's of course global competition in this field. We'll see. At least we have the attention. That's good.
Are there any plans for Škoda to enter the Southeast Asia market, especially Indonesia?
Indonesia? Okay, interesting. Well, yes, not Indonesia, but not yet. No, in general, yes. The Southeast Asia is obviously one of the growth regions in the world. There's opportunity there. It's not very straightforward and simple. Southeast Asia traditionally is very fragmented. You have a pickup market in Thailand. You have MPV market in Indonesia. Malaysia is a national car with Proton and all that. So it's a bit of a complication to get in there and really be successful. The Japanese manufacturers see this as their backyard for many years. They've invested many years ago. We believe that specifically because of the relationship between Czech Republic and Vietnam, for example, that there's an opportunity to start and work something out together. We're looking at many options in not only Southeast Asia for growth. It's our task from the Volkswagen Group now to lead this, and I've spent many years in Southeast Asia myself, so you can do the math.
Will Škoda continue to develop ICE units, or will the company start to phase these out to BEVs in the future?
Well, sure. I mean, eventually, I guess the world will follow suit. No? Some countries will electrify later, some earlier. As I said earlier, we've got this transitional phase. Hard to put a date to it. For now, we are lucky because we've just introduced most of our new models. We have a refreshed model portfolio. I would say if I had to invest in 26, 27 in electric vehicles going forward, markets are shrinking of this. No? So it's going to be tougher going forward. But as I said, Škoda is in a good position because we have already made the major decisions, and we have a portfolio that can carry us well into the second half of the decade and see what happens on the way to there. No?
So a closer definition, how do you define Europe for your top 5 sales ambition? What number are you at now?
No, well, we never pin it to an absolute number because nobody knows what the total European market's going to look like. No, I mean, your guess is as good as mine, and that's why we said, we pin it to a market share and to a position in the ranking. No? We believe we can move to the top 5. We have the model lineup, the portfolio for this. I think the new cars will show that this is definitely possible, and. But the absolute number makes no sense. No? The market could, for all we know, could halve itself in the next couple of years. So,
Has Škoda decided on a name for its small electric car yet? Does Elroq sound familiar?
I don't know. Not convinced. We are in the process of finding a suitable name for this. And we haven't quite gotten to that point. I'm quite happy to report that we have made the hurdles of, making the decisions on moving forward and doing it. But the naming is the last step that we'll probably decide, not in the next 12 months. Yeah.
Is there any plan for Škoda entering the North America market?
No.
No? Ah,
is that clear enough?
Short question,
no.
Even shorter answer?
No.
How will Next Level affect Quasini and its needs for new production areas for companies and contractors? Will Škoda Auto expand Quasini?
Yeah, Quasini is a gem in our manufacturing footprint. It's a factory that is gone from a small location to a top-notch, super efficient facility that is literally breaking out of all borders. No? So I don't even think we can expand it if we wanted to. So this is all about using it in the most efficient way now. And I would say that the transformation is the bigger challenge. No? So I wouldn't expand it into space necessarily, but to move it from ICE to battery electric in the long run.
Okay. So, is Škoda Auto thinking about hydrogen propulsions?
Yeah, no, we are not actively pursuing this. Obviously, there's a bit of a hype around this, and you know, we perpetually get the sort of the feeling that this is the next technology or something. From an energy summary and from today's perspective, at least, hydrogen is definitely not for volume segment passenger cars. The technology is far too expensive, and also the storage and filling doesn't make sense. It has its place, no? And especially in the commercial vehicle space, maybe even in the premium segment, but we don't see it as a focus for our Škoda setup.
Can we expect Fabia RS or anything hot hatch from Škoda?
Hot hatch?
It's typically the UK question, actually.
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, we'll see if that still if you still can calculate this model in that space. And I know I love it too, but it gets more and more difficult to calculate it and justify the investments.
Okay, I'm still looking here in the event hall, but there. There's
thank goodness
somebody is raising the hand.
Hello,
Burkhard, good to see you.
Yes, good to see you. Mr. Schäfer, should I stand up?
That would be nice.
Oh, okay. You started 10 months ago, and now your task was to create a strategy for 2030. I think maybe it's in Corona times nearly impossible to anticipate what's going on. Now you have this big task. Is it credible to say in 2030 India is rising and Russia is rising? How do you know, and how do you act to build up the strategy?
Well, thanks. Interesting question. Of course, nobody knows for sure. We use the most reliable sources and forecasts that we can find. But one thing is clear, no? And that when you see the strategy, it's based on a three-legged approach. No? Basically, expand, do the stuff even better and more of that we've done well before. No? Get more electric cars, push in the markets that we are super strong in, and so on. Explore, go to new horizons, and make sure that you almost a little bit hedge the development of Europe, that we can balance out this unbelievable transformation that we are facing, and recognize that the world, specifically throughout Corona, has changed focus completely on sustainability. And that's for me the one key learning after we met on around the ENIAC. One of the focal points of the ENIAC is the issue of sustainable interior, use of sustainable materials in the interior. And I was actually a bit surprised about the amount of requests and questions around this, and how people were focusing on this, from the olive leather that is sustainably bleached all the way to reused materials in the fabrics. And with this sort of these three angles, we're trying to balance the company, make sure that we can in 2030 also bring enough bread to the table of the Volkswagen family. Now, we are a respected member of the family. They love us for our performance, obviously. But if we continued like today and we only focus on mainly Europe and a little bit, then this is not going to happen. So I believe we have a balanced strategy that will carry us through, and time will tell.
A more clear question, where you can, I think, give a clear answer. Do you already plan to stop producing cars for combustion engines, as many manufacturers already announced? So do we have a clear date when we want to stop that?
No, we don't. This is partly because we have now embarked on many regions that are not particularly clear on what is going to happen in the close future. subcontinents like India, could go either way. No? I mean, there's the ones that say, okay, India is going to stay combustion engine country for the next 30 years. And there's others that say they'll leapfrog the development and go similar to China. Who knows? No? So it would be not credible to name a date and just forget about it. This is not our style, so we'll see. For now, we're well set up on both sides and prepared for the future. We can decide either way in another 2-3 years.
Questions from India. Any plans for electric vehicles in India?
Well, in India, I think the
Valid question.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it the other day. No? It's India is also focusing on it all of a sudden. India is it's a huge country, as you know, no? And it has got structural challenges, but nobody believes that they will stay behind forever. No? They're also focusing on environmental protection now, much stronger. No? When you see some of the environmental situations in the capital cities, they need to do something. And what drove China 10 years ago into this massive focus on getting the cities clean and whatever, what developed out of it could, who knows, could develop in India in the same space. No? So we'll see.
Please elaborate on cutting product complexity by 40%. You mentioned that in the speech. How is this affecting existing models, powertrains, options? What does it mean, the 30%?
Well, the reality is that over the last couple of years, decade, whatever, we have become extremely complicated. No? We have allowed ourselves the luxury of having, I think it was about 16 different steering wheels in Octavia. And you really have to say, why? Why is that necessary? Now, our customers do not appreciate this. It's a myth to believe that this will sell more cars or make them more happy or her. This is nonsense. So we went through model by model, look at the options, rather give a little bit more to the customer, condense it, put it in packages. And the Enyaq sort of paved the way when we launched it, when we had our design selections, where we bundled more and they can come on. Let's go away from this complexity. It helps nobody, it makes production expensive, and the supply chain gets more expensive. We can take the cost out of it and make sure that with that, we can sort of ramp up a bit better. No?
Yeah. Now I ask again, any other raising hands here in the hall? Currently not the case. So next one from Slido. Do you have any short-term and long-term solution of chip and semiconductor crisis which cause suspensions of production?
Should I ask Carsten Starke? No. The semiconductor topic is super serious for us, one must say. We through the sort of high time of the Corona pandemic, the blow wasn't that bad because we had to have these hygiene breaks and we weren't running at full capacity. So you could somehow just work around it. We had incredibly good cooperation between our production, sales, purchasing. Everybody was trying their unbelievable best to save every possible car and build it. Because, as you know, we are fully utilized in our factories. So the car we don't build today is not going to be built later in the year. We have got no more time to catch up. Other manufacturers have not got this problem. But now, after doing handstand and standing on one leg and whatnot, we're becoming to the point where we cannot continue possibly in the same way. So we will probably look at a closure of 1 week now in our factories, which is a disaster. To be honest, we had such a great run, and the order books are full. We're super happy. The cars sell incredibly well. Our stock is on all-time low, but now there's nothing we can do. We have to see this through the storm, and hopefully in the second half of the year that it calms down and we can continue. Yeah.
All right, if there are any questions want to be raised in Czech or in German, don't worry. We have also here the translation, so just to motivate you maybe a little bit more here in the audience to ask a question. But otherwise, I will just continue with the Many questions at Slido. Will Kodiaq be electrified? I love its space and power. This I can agree.
And look, it's always this kind of questions, will it be electrified? Eventually, yeah, probably, but will it be based on the same platform? No, certainly not. So the Enyaq from a size point of view is almost in the Kodiaq space. For now, as I said, our focus is now going rather a little smaller than the Enyaq, than bigger than the Enyaq. But I wouldn't say that in the long term that we are not electrifying or have a vehicle in that space. That could well be.
Will electric cars be significantly cheaper in the future due to economies of scale? How strong will this effect be?
Hard to say. What is certainly true is that in history, whatever gets focused on with a lot of energy usually gets cheaper fast. It was my example of a memory stick. When it started, you had like, 512 kilobytes, and it cost you a fortune to buy one. Over time, everybody, all universities, manufacturers, all sorts of companies were researching, and next thing, you have now a terabyte that you get given at an event for free. So I think we're probably going to see in the sort of mid-long term, you see developments that we don't see today. That is a jump in technology. For now, we can already see that I say the tide has turned. The focus on electric mobility, the acceptance of customers. Once you've driven an Enyaq, I'm driving my Enyaq. I don't want to actually go back. It's so convenient. It's daily usable. It takes away a lot of pain. In Prague, you can park everywhere for free. It's wonderful. So why drive something else?
Specific question on Fabia. Why is the Monte Carlo version of the new Škoda Fabia not going to be released from the very beginning, and when will it be released? If it will. It will. It will.
No, it will. But we had to adhere to a startup sequence. It's a part-related story. We could build and launch what was available, and the Monte Carlo is ready to be launched. Don't know where our quality chief is. I think Monte Carlo. Okay, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's okay. Soon.
Soon. How do you want to reduce complexity in your supply chain?
Yeah, first and foremost, you want to look at the variance and complexity in the product. And with that, you can do tremendous progress. On top of that, the question is, what is product defining? What are the elements that customers see on top, and what is in the underwear that you can unify and simplify? We have a strong supplier setup, specifically here in Czech Republic and surrounding. We also take group responsibility for the suppliers in this region. Our purchasing team is here in this region pushing for this. And optimization is our daily bread. We look at it carefully every day on the product. What can you do? With the focus of not making it cheaper, with the focus of giving more customer value. Give the customer more in touch and feel and visuals, and take it away where he or she doesn't need it. That's the focus.
Do you see space in your model portfolio for Scala in the future, when the Fabia and the new generation grew up a lot? When talking about Scala, what type of electrification do you plan for this model?
I'd say the new Fabia is almost on the size, level of a Scala, if you're honest. When you look at the total size of the vehicle, I don't think you need to put another model on top of that and then go into Octavia and so on. So Scala is a great car. I love it. It's doing very well in the market. Would you electrify it? No, I don't think this is necessary.
There's a question on the world premiere of the 4th generation of Superb, if it's in 2022, and if there will be an RS version.
It's in 23, right? I think it's 23. Speak the correction, but I think it's 23, and depending on the market, of course. No, I guess Czech and Western Europe's probably 23. Will there be an RS version? If customers want it.
So
we shall see.
Next one: will the next generation Superb offer both liftback and wagon versions?
Liftback and?
Combi and limousine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Short answer. When will the Enyaq arrive in the Asian region? Looking forward. Greetings from Singapore.
Singapore. Yeah, look, at the moment, obviously a lot is driven by policy. No? So you need, we have a production capacity in Mladá Boleslav of 350 Enyaqs per day, ramping it up now to 500 and then to 800 over time. And right now, we don't know what to do because the feedback in the market is unbelievable. No? We have had orders like there's no tomorrow, and the success, I mean, we knew it's a great car, but the success actually surprised us. And now I know that this doesn't sound great for the friends in Singapore, but but at the moment we really need them for Europe. As soon as capacity is there, we will then go into the other markets. But for now, we have a serious supply shortage.
Thomas, thanks for 30 minutes Q&A.
Sure.
The colleagues here in the hall will for sure have the chance to ask a few questions more during the evening. Yeah. Dear media guests following us via the live stream, thank you for your attendance. We wish you all a nice rest of the day, and we hope to see you soon.
Yeah.